Excited. Let's do it.
Do it. All right, we're recording. Hi, ladies. Good morning, bright and early. Hence why we all look so fabulous and are feeling so fabulous, but we are here bright and early. And today we're doing just kind of some general invite information. This is our Success Squad call for the 3rd of August. And we're just going to kind of touch a little bit on why inviting is so important, kind of some general ideas behind inviting. We're going to talk about maybe issues we might have with inviting, and then ask questions and kind of process and work through them. So first of all, inviting is one of our 4 vital behaviors. And the main reason, and in my belief, is probably the most important business building activity we do as a coach. So I do believe showing or proof of the products, all of those things, but those were things I was going to do as a challenger and as an individual, regardless if I was a coach, right? Because I wanted to feel good on my own health and fitness journey. Those of you who know my story know that I did not come into this to build a business. So being a proof of the product, sharing, those were all things that I was kind of doing anyways. And those are all very, very important, because when you're inviting in the background, you have to have it in the forefront for people to even understand why you're doing it. I've had lots of new coaches kind of come onto the team and tell me, well, I'm sending invites, but no one's responding, or they're acting confused. And I look at their page and they don't have one picture of themselves doing anything related to being healthy, working out, or building a business. So it is twofold. But inviting, when it comes to truly the business building activity that you are going to do, inviting is key. This is what I loved the example of. If you had a big party at your house, you had a keg, you had food, like it was a rager, and you were like, I'm going to invite everybody I know. If you posted on Facebook, hey guys, I'm having this awesome party, it's going to be so cool, show up at my house at 7. How many of your real Facebook friends would think that invite was for me specifically and she wants me at her party? Probably very few. But if you went and called them up and was like, girl, I'm having this party, you need to come over, we're getting ready together, we're going to be fabulous, blah, 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 you bet that they would show up and they'd probably bring a bottle of wine, right? So like that is a direct invite. They feel like you want them there specifically, not any person on your social media at all. That is why inviting is so key, is because you're giving that person that direct invite. You're letting them know that you want them to be a part of your fit camp or boot camp, whatever you call it. And you're also starting that conversation for them to be able to ask questions. Again, a lot of times when we're talking about health and fitness, you got to remember, like for those of us who've been in the business for a while, this is a vulnerable thing to talk about health and fitness. When I was 60 pounds overweight, I didn't want to necessarily have a conversation about being 60 pounds overweight or feeling uncomfortable in my own skin with maybe just somebody who I met on social media. So that gives you the ability to kind of be more one-on-one, for them to feel like you care about them specifically, not that you're just inviting anybody. Like I said, it's twofold. It has to be on your social media, but it also has to be in the background. The difference is between sharing on social media, we're doing that 1 to 2 times a day, regardless if we're building a hobby business or regardless if we're building a true business, whether it be part-time or full-time, okay? So inviting, to me, is that key difference. Inviting is truly the difference between whether you have a real business or you have a fun thing you do on the side. So if that sits weird with you or kind of feels like a jolt in your stomach, like, oh, and this is going to be the type of training I want to hear from you on, and that I want you to really start focusing on. So inviting is essentially sending people an invite to your boot camp, fit camp, 3-day refresh, free group, whatever you're doing. It's giving them, like I said, that opportunity to have that conversation. When we're talking about inviting, everybody has a different style. If you go and look at mine and Sam's invites, or mine and Rachel's invites, or whatever, they're probably going to be different. But the main idea behind the invites is that you want to actually invite them. You don't want it to be word vomity on them. Give them a little bit of information and always end with a question. If I can give you one tip, that was something in the beginning I really struggled with, was ending with a question. Throughout the entire conversation of an invitation, ending each part that you're doing with a question so they have a reason to respond. Also, remember, when you're inviting, it is not about you. It is not about your Success Club points. It is not about you need people in your fit camp. It is about them. So the reason you're asking questions is so you can get to know them and why this would be a good fit for their lives. You're also taking that information you're getting from that question and you're using that to reiterate in the invite process why this is good for them. Okay, so we know how great it is. We understand that. But if we just word vomit on them, like, let me tell you all about my great program and how great it is, and I drink my shake and I work out, but that's about you. That's not about them. Okay, so asking questions is key. Hot tip number one, if you aren't already doing this in your invite process when you're having conversations, end every part of your conversation with a question that they can then answer. Not a yes, no question either. Like a question like, tell me about your health and fitness goals. What would you say is the toughest thing you struggle with when in regards to nutrition? Mine is, in that conversation, don't be afraid to also share your story, your part of it. For me, when it comes to nutrition, I struggle with sweets still today, 100,000,000% all day. So when people say, when I ask them what they struggle with nutrition, I let them know. I struggle with sweets. I struggle with time and having the ability or desire to cook, which also leads into a great reason for them to say, me too. And then I'm like, well, girl, let me tell you how I fix that, right? So all of these things are setting yourself up for success. So like I said, I'm not doing a full-blown training on inviting, but I did want to get some input from you guys on those who are brand new to inviting. What's the hardest part for you? What's the hardest part for those who maybe have been in the business a little bit longer? And then after we're kind of done with that, I want to talk about, okay, now that we've invited them, now that we're interested, how do we get them signed up as a coach? Because I know a lot of you have big rank advancement goals. Who are trying to build a business, who are trying to build a team, and want to have that support, want to have that community. And you have to have coaches on your team who are on these calls, but even coaches who are not on these calls, discount coaches, to do that. And for those of you who don't know my story in particular, I currently have, I think I looked it up the other day, like have recruited over 150 coaches myself or something like that in the last year and a half that since I actually went Emerald back 2 years ago or whatever it is. And that's not right now. Currently, I have about around 100 coaches underneath me. So that's just like current people. That's not necessarily in the past, which that sounds maybe kind of crazy to a lot of people. And I get it where you're like, I just want to go Emerald and sign up 2 people. So like the idea that you're talking about like hundreds of signups or hundreds of people. The reason I'm telling you that is because I do not currently sign up anyone who is not getting signed up as a coach. And again, I know that also sounds crazy, but like you, I have big rank advancement goals. I have big goals that I'm pushing for. And what I learned very early on in this business is that if you want to get a 2-star diamond bonus, if you want to help your team move forward, you need to teach them, and you need to be able to not only get, Success Club and help people get started on their journey, but then also help build a team. That's what this comes down to. Sorry, I'm not looking at the group chat, so please cut me off if there's things I need to answer. Okay. So first off thing, big tip for inviting, always ending with a question, 1. 2, making it about them. When you're making it about them and they're responding to you, my hot tip number 2 is reinforcing what they told you. Remember, this is a vulnerable process. Okay, so we're very, I'll speak for myself, not we all, but I'll speak for myself. When I first started this business, they would respond to me, I'd read the response and immediately dive into the next question or immediately answer their question or their response. So if they told me, honestly, girl, I am struggling because I had my baby and I just don't feel like myself anymore. My stomach is huge and I need to lose this baby weight. I want to lose 30 pounds. Brand new coach, dive in. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I know you want to lose 30 pounds. So we need to get you set up with a program. The program options are, and then let me send you a message this long that tells you all about the things I'm going to do for you. Brenna now as a coach is going to say, oh my gosh, mama, I so get that. After I had my daughter, I felt like I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I really struggled with my own body image, let alone before I had kids. I mean, it's so tough. I 100% get it. As somebody who's lost 60 pounds during these programs myself, your goals are totally doable. We can totally help you with that. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what type of workouts you enjoy? Follow up with a question. When you're giving questions, this is a hot tip, give things that our program answers the question to. Okay, so when I say, tell me a little bit about your favorite types of workouts. For example, do you enjoy kickboxing, dance, yoga, HIIT workouts, weightlifting? Okay, notice I didn't say CrossFit. Notice I didn't say running. Those are not things that Beachbody On Demand provides. But those things, you're giving people options to choose from. And then I always end with et cetera, because I want to let them know that they can tell me other things. But usually then they're going to pick one or two to three options of what you just gave them a list of. The great news about that, they're going to say, I love dance, kickboxing, and weightlifting. I used to do back in the day. And then I also, at the end, I always say like, or are you unsure? Because if they're unsure, that means, or they've never worked out or whatever, you want to give them that option so they can admit that and say that, and that's okay. You can reiterate to them, it's not a big deal if you've never worked out before, because there are plenty of people who've never worked out a day in their lives who are, attracted to our tribe. So usually they're going to give us a couple answers, or they're going to say, I've never worked out, or it's been years. That's awesome. I used to love dancing too, if that relates to you. If not, like people who say like, I'm obsessed with yoga. I'm like, girl, you are a better woman than me. Yoga and I hate each other, but I'm trying to get better at it. But I have a great option for you. The great news about this, guys, we have the All Access Pass and the All Access Challenge Pack. That gives them literally every option of workout they could ever want. So giving them a bunch of options essentially is setting them up for the all access, right? But with the Morning Meltdown 100, if somebody says they're into weights, they're into high intensity interval training, if they're into dance even, if they're into, that kind of stuff, you're going to hook them up with the Morning Meltdown 100. Now, right now, because of the launch, my invites are a little more direct towards the Morning Meltdown 100 specifically. Okay, so this is kind of general inviting on those timeframes when we don't have a specific program that we're launching. For you ladies who are like, well, what about the Morning Meltdown 100? My invites are more specific, like, hey, ladies, and typically I'm inviting people I've invited before. Let me also clarify that. I usually say something like, hey, girly, I know we've talked about boot camps in the past and it was bad timing. Well, I'm doing this awesome new 100-day boot camp and it's got weights, HIIT, resistance training, and totally badass. When I thought about women I want to do this with, I thought of you. Is that something you'd be interested in? You can keep it short, sweet, to the point. For some of my girls who tend to be those people who want all the details up front, which is kind of my personality of a person, I might send them a little blurb of what's included in the program specifically, especially if we've talked a bunch in the past and they already know what my boot camps are. They already know what they're getting. I already know what their goals are, that kind of a thing. So as your business grows and as time passes, you're going to adjust your invites based on kind of what you're doing. But for general inviting, these are kind of the main things. Giving them options. Giving them questions, giving them answers to their questions that actually directly relate to what we're doing and what we are able to offer them. And then when they give you those answers, reiterate how we're going to assist them. Those are the three main tips I would say with inviting are going to be key to your success. Now, when I say, who are you inviting? I see a lot in a lot of the pages. And again, I remember being a new coach, and inviting is something that for me takes no skill or creative effort. Okay. So inviting to me has always been like, let's do it. I love this. I'm all about it. Okay. So that's why I talk about it probably more than the average. Because for me, writing up a great post with a pretty picture and all of those things gives me so much stress still today. And having to create a group, cover letter or cover board thing. Oh my God, nightmare, all of those things, right? Inviting legitimately, guys, takes no effort. The only thing that is stopping you from inviting is making the time and getting your head right. Okay. Because the reason why I would say most people struggle with inviting is because they're invested in the outcome. They tell me they don't know who to invite. They don't have enough followers. They don't have enough people. Lies. Not lies because you're genuinely lying. Lies because everybody can get invited to this opportunity. And you're trying to tell me that you don't know 10 people in a day to invite. Lies. The reason we don't want to invite them is because we have some preconceived notion about why they're not going to join us, what they're going to think, or what the world will think of us for inviting them to something like this. So I always go into these calls and want to remind you, ladies, that you were invited to this. You got an invite, you said yes, that brought you to this point. Okay? So if somebody hadn't invited you, if Sam hadn't invited me over and over for 6 months, my life would look completely different than it does now. And I am forever grateful and feel blessed that she came into my life and provided me with this opportunity. Okay. So what you're doing is you're giving people the opportunity for that. And Lindsay Matway was on a call the other day and she said that so gracefully. She said, for all the thousands of lives I've changed, for those couple people who didn't like me or didn't like what I did, nobody cares. Okay. But when you're a new coach, it's hard to see the lives you're going to change because maybe you haven't changed them yet. I mean, the first message I got from somebody saying, oh my God, I lost 20 pounds that I've never been able to lose. Like, thank you so much for bringing me into this community. Nobody cares. I officially don't care about anyone who doesn't like me. Like, officially, that it all turned off. Okay. But when you're a new coach, it's hard to envision that because how would anyone, follow you? Maybe you're not where you want to be yet. Maybe you're at a place where you're like, I don't know anything about coaching. I'm just inviting them. And then when they say yes, what do I do? Like if they actually say yes, then I have to freak out because I have no idea what I'm doing at that point, which I have a lot of my coaches who have that exact same feeling. So I'm going to tell you, Sam and I, you guys see us at the place that we are now, right? And even Rachel, who's hit Success Club last month for her first time, Megan, who hit Success Club 2 months, they were also at a brand new coach month. They still feel like they have no idea what they're doing. Sam and I still have days where we feel like we have no idea what we're doing. That is what this business is embracing the chaos, embracing that feeling of you have no idea what you're doing and doing it anyways. And the reality is you know way more than you give yourself credit for, 1. 2, your only job is to help people. If you do it perfectly, no one will remember that. I guarantee you. If you sent them the wrong link and you have to send them another link, no one will remember that when they're 40 pounds down, okay? You do not have to be perfect to be a part of this business. You have to embrace the fact that you will not be perfect. There will be people who don't like what you do, and there will be people who will change your life. This business will change your life if you give it the time and energy and the ability to say, I don't care, and do it anyways. Now, I know that's not easy to do, which is why we have the upline that we do who preaches personal development, which in case you guys were wondering, for 6 months, I told Sam I wasn't going to do personal development. So I get it. I totally get it. Now, when it comes to inviting, there was a couple things I was going to talk to you guys about to make it easier because I know every single person on this call is crazy busy, has very little time, and inviting can seem like this overwhelming task. Like sending 5 invites, I don't even have time to pee by myself, okay? Let alone or shower or whatever. So the idea that then you want me to send 50 invites a day makes you sound like a psychotic person in general. So a couple things. First things first, do not retype your invite every time you send it, okay? If you are currently doing that, which we have all done, please stop. Write out an invite that's short, sweet, to the point, and save it in your phone. I use, which I shared this with my girls the other day, I use Google Keep. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's automatically connected to my Google Drive account. So I can pull it up on my phone. I can pull it up on my computer. I can pull it up everywhere. I have quick little responses to every type of question throughout the invite process in my phone. Okay. So my invite's in there. A follow-up invite is in there. When you send them an invite, maybe you don't hear back from them for a couple of days and you send them a follow-up. Hey girl, not sure if you got my message. Just wanted to check back, see if you're interested. Saved in my phone. I have a quick response to how much is the program? Well, girlfriend, the only financial investment is what it costs to use the program you're investing in. I offer my boot camps at no cost to my girls because I know it helps them get results. but every program's different in price. So would it be okay with you if I ask you a couple questions to figure out the best price for you or the best program for you? Saved in my phone. When they're ready to sign up and they need to do a shake option, I don't type out every single time, do you want chocolate? Do you want vegan? Do you have, saved in my phone. We have options, chocolate, vanilla, cafe latte, strawberry, okay? So all of these things are saved in Google Keep in like a little notes section. I can quickly reference, copy and paste, and submit it, okay? When I do invites, the big thing that I change is I add their name specifically and what day it is. I usually say like, hey, Sam, happy Saturday, blah, 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 blah. This morning I got up and in 35, 40 minutes, I sent 75 invites. Okay. That is not because I have some amazing skill at inviting. Okay. I have a list of people. I click on their page. I type in their name in my invite and I push send and I go to the next. I block out my time. I don't respond to messages. I don't check anything else. Bop, 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 bop. So when we're talking about 10Xing, guys, when you're talking about big goals, I know on our activity tracker, it says send at least 5 a day, 5 invites a day. It bothers me that it says 5 a day. And the reason it bothers me is not because it is not accurate in having success. But I know people who are getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get on a call about inviting, have bigger goals than going Emerald or getting their shakes paid for. Okay, I know that in my core, I've seen every single one of you show up for things that if you're just looking to make a few extra dollars, you are not going to do because it's not worth it for your time and energy. You have bigger goals, you have bigger dreams. You want more out of this business. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is to erase the 5, cross it out, okay? Whatever your norm is doing, if it's 2 a day is something that is doable for you, which in the system we're talking about, you could send 2 invites in like 30 seconds, okay? Literally 30 seconds. So if let's say you have 15 minutes a day, you go to the bathroom and you lock the door for 5 minutes, okay? You can send 10 invites, 5 invites in that, and you have to pee multiple times a day, right? So if you went pee 5 times, you could send 25 invites in a day. That's it. I'm not saying do it when you're necessarily going pee, but I'm just trying to give perspective in that the system that we use, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I do, okay? This is from this morning. Don't mind my green highlighter. So how you choose to do it is up to you, but I have my names. These are all people who are following me on Instagram. I fold it in half, so there's 64 names on here, or 66 names on here, I'm sorry. And literally every single morning, I whip open my page, I go to my Instagram, I figure out what my invite is going to be for that day. Today, right now, I'm inviting to Morning Meltdown. I copy my Morning Meltdown invite, and I go down the list. I say, Sarah Phillips, type her in, go to her messages. Hey, write her name, Sarah, send. Okay, next. Farah, type Farah in. Hey, Farah, send. And I do that for as long as I have. So for those of you that are busy and who have bigger goals, you can do this business. You can invite more than 5 people a day. And I hope if you hear nothing from me in this call is that if you have bigger goals, then to be Emerald and to get your shakes paid for, which are great goals. They're amazing goals and I'm not knocking those. It's just the fact that you guys are up at 6 a.m. to hear me talk about who knows what means that your goals are bigger is what that tells me. Okay, that you want to make $200 in a week, that you want to be recognized on stage at Summit, that you want to financially change your family's life, that you want to help hundreds of people, thousands of people. So if you're on this call, that's what it says to me. So I'm telling you the way when you see Samurai say, hey, we sent 75 invites today, that is what we are doing. We're not making up some magical way that like we're doing something spectacular that you cannot do. Kate Schultz, who went from a coach to 1 star in like a year or something, 7 star, some outrageous number. Basically, she's an elite coach this year and she was nobody as of last year. Okay. This is literally the system that she's teaching all of her coaches.
In the top 25 her first year as a coach.
Thank you. Top 25. I always mess up her stats because I don't know why. I feel like, and guys, okay, this is such a like a hater comment. I've heard her speak 5 times. If this girl can be top 25, we all can be top 25. Okay. She just has the biggest balls and has no fear. And that is truly the difference. When we left Summit, that's all I said to Sam is that it is not that she has some magical like aura about her. She is a teacher from LA who literally is like, I don't care. You got an invite last night. You're getting another invite this month. You ghosted me. Nobody cares. Moving on. That is literally the difference. Her mentality is the difference between her being somebody and not, and then putting that into action, taking the hard work to do it. So that is the system. That is the process. Now, Sam and I are both working on some maybe new processes for inviting to speed up the process for you girls and to figure out ways to make this, the conversation piece faster. But I will say, knowing how to have a conversation and have a full invite conversation and go from start to finish and have somebody sign up, you rip that Band-Aid off enough, you get real comfortable with inviting. You get really comfortable with understanding what you're inviting to and how you're going to be successful doing it. So every person here needs to have these conversations, and keep your responses short, sweet, to the point. So before I go into like transitioning somebody into a coach, I would love to hear if anyone would like to unmute themselves and ask questions about inviting.
I have a question.
Okay.
So you have some automated responses saved on your phone that you copy and paste. Would you say that it took some time to master what you felt was the right answer? Like, have you changed them?
Oh, God, yes, a lot. I've changed them a lot. So like, even for example, so even my follow-up, even my initial invite has changed probably 15 times. And when I started inviting, I had no idea how to invite. My invite was really long. It was really obnoxious. My responses, like I said, guys, were like this long. So don't feel like you should have all the answers now, because you definitely shouldn't. The biggest thing is not stopping. And also, you can't do the wrong thing to the right person. Like, if somebody really is ready to find something and they've been watching you for a year, whatever you say in your response is not going to deter them from thinking you're the hottest shit on the planet, like, period. So those auto responses are things that have taken a while to come up with. And a lot of those I still edit. I still change based on the month, based on what I'm inviting to, based on how who I'm inviting. If I've invited them and they said, girl, I'm so in, I just can't afford it this month, their invite's going to be different than someone who's ghosted me. Okay, but a lot of that just takes playing around with it, and getting comfortable with inviting to make it to where you're not invested in if they say no. Guys, I love it when people tell me, no, I'm not interested. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that. I can officially cross you off my list and I don't have to invite you again. I appreciate you. And what that does is gives me more time to invite people who are interested. And there's plenty of times Sam and I will message each other and we're like, everyone in my inbox is saying no. Every single person. It's really getting old. We all feel that way. Okay. The difference is the people who get discouraged by the no are invested what if someone says no, then it defines your worth as a coach. And the reality is, you showing up, you offering this to people, that is defining your worth as a coach. You inviting people to this opportunity. The only time your worth is defined in a negative way is when you decide that the no's overtake the people's lives you're going to change. That's when I look at you and I say, well, you let the no's beat you down. Which in reality, we all get that. I mean, when you're inviting, in 1 month I invited like 1,000 people or something. 95% of those were no's. That's a lot of no's we hear in 1 month. That's a lot of no's, okay? But the reality is the no is just getting you closer to a yes. And how many top coaches do you hear talk about they were a no, they ghosted their coach, they were somebody who didn't respond, they weren't interested and came around. So a no just is a no right now, and moving on. You got to be like the ultimate, like, you can't get me. That's what I just like picture it. Like, no, okay, thank you, running the other direction. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. Block by, absolutely. Block by. If someone is a hater, they don't need to be in your circle anyways, and they wouldn't be your tribe. So I don't get invested in haters very much. And Weston and I used to joke about this, but we're like, we want to be so big in life that we have like legit haters, because like then that means like you're really next level. Because only when you're next level do you have legitimate haters in your life, right? So bring on the haters, girls. Let's go. Anybody else? Or Sam, go ahead, Rachel. Unmute yourself.
So I have two questions. One is 2 paragraphs too much for an invite?
I would say yes. That's
Okay.
my own opinion. I would keep it at 3 to 4 sentences or less, especially if it's a traditional invite. Like I said, for Morning Meltdown, with some of my girls who I've invited in the past who know what's going on, my invite says something like, I know we've talked about this in the past, but there's this new awesome 100-day program, and it includes this. Because I've already gone through all the program options. I already know their goals, and I kind of tell them in advance because that gets them hyped on being like, oh, this is different than what she was doing before. For a general invite, I would say and Sam, you can tell me if you agree, but I usually try to keep it 3 to 4 sentences or less, because you want them to want to respond to you. And most people are going to look at their messages while they're doing something else. They're going to look at it, and if they can't read it in like 0.5 seconds or less, they're going to stop reading and not respond. That is my own personal opinion. I don't know, Sam, if you agree or not, but.
Well, I think the best analogy, and I agree, 100% I agree, and I think the best analogy was at Keisha at New Leader Conference, which I would look it up, Bumble Inviting, YouTube. It was a great training where she was like, inviting is like dating. You don't want to be like, hi, nice to meet you. Like, oh my God, we're going to get married and have 7 kids and it's going to be so great. She's like, no, you just like want them to swipe right. You just want them to be like, okay, I'm interested. So I do the same thing with Brenna is I just say, mine are very basic. I either have like,
breezy.
Mine are breezy. Like, thank you so much for the love of my post. It means so much to have support from other mamas. I don't know if you saw, but I'm enrolling for and I like put MM100, so they have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, I want them to be curious and to literally not know. My MM100 fit camp right now, would you like the D? And I even say D, and I just like, that's it. And then it's either yes, no, and then with Brenna, I do the same thing. With my notebook, I just go through. So when we're putting out these big invites, it's not because we're married to every single one of these people. I don't really know them. The next person on the line. There are some people that I really do want in my fit camp. You know what I mean? That I've already built a relationship because, remember, we're initiating connections on the Success Club tracker too. So there are people that come up. But then if they say they're interested, I circle their name. And so that doesn't mean when I circle their name, we're even, you know what I mean? Because we got to go through what the program is. We got to go through price. You're dating them on the date. You know what I mean? So the invite is just the swipe right. I just want you to say you're interested.
Absolutely. Great question, Rachel. Anybody else? Can't see everybody.
I think she said she had 2.
Oh, go Rachel. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then like when you're having that conversation with them and like when they start to be like, oh, well, this, and this, are we supposed to be like, I don't know. I feel like when I try to talk to people, I'm like word vomiting after the fact. And then that kind of scares them away. Like, do you have a system where you kind of like break down, like, when they ask this, I say this, when not, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So yes, that system did not happen right away because I'm the queen of word vomiting. So I watched a training that was talking all about.
Will you unshare this for a second?
What?
Can you unshare your screen? Just so I can see you. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So I kind of got into the place where it was like, okay, if this was a conversation I was having in front of somebody, like Sam was sitting next to me and we were having this conversation, there would be a pause. Where would that pause be? Like she would say something, I would be like, oh, Sam, I totally hear that about your kid, blah, blah, blah. My kid, what about this? And we would have that conversation, right? So when I'm creating I picture that in my head. Like I have legitimately like written out like, okay, where would the pauses be in this conversation? Where would I breathe? Because I like write like I talk as well. So when I write, I'm like, let me tell you everything about my life. Not a big deal. To and fro. So that I do have. So if they start to be like, well, and maybe what you're talking about is when you start talking about, okay, this is the program I have to offer you. And they're like, well, that sounds like a lot. Or, well, I'm not sure. Or, is that what you mean, Rachel, when you're getting to that point where they kind of like are saying no, and then you're like, but wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So I have that. We've all had that same feeling. There's days where I'm like, wait, what? We're saying no?
What
Are
did
you
I go wrong?
Look at that. It's fine. What did I say? Give me a reverse. So I totally get that. So there's a couple things when people get to their objections. One, everybody has to, I believe in my heart that everyone has to say no initially. There's been a handful of people in my life who have come onto my team who have said like, yep, I'm ready. Let's do this. I'm excited. Day one. Very few people are like that. More people have to say no, and then they have to believe you. They have to decide if they like you enough, if they trust you enough, if they want to be a part of this enough, which is why we always say the Eric War book, Go Pro, I believe is the one where he talks about every single person has to have 7 to 12 interactions or invitations prior to saying yes. So when you think about that, maybe you sent them one invite and they've seen one of your posts. The answer is no. Maybe you sent them a follow-up invite. That's 3. When you sent them a secondary invite to a different group 3 months later, that's 4 and 5. Then they've seen a couple of your invite posts. All right. So you got to think about it so in my mind, I believe everyone is going to say no to me initially. So when they start to come up with their reasons why, I like that versus just saying, no, I'm not interested, blah, 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 blah. That to me is a direct, blatant, no, I'm never going to be interested. If someone says, no, I'm too busy right now. So whatever the reason they're telling you, they believe at their core that that is a valid reason. Okay. So nobody just, I don't believe that most people are like, oh, I just don't want to talk to this girl anymore, so I'm going to give her an excuse. They would just ghost you. Right. Yeah. So I believe if someone is having the conversation long enough to get to the point where they're giving you a reason, honestly, my daughter's birthday is right now and I just feel super overwhelmed, but maybe check back with me later. That is a yes. That is not a no. I know it sounds like a no because they're not signing up that month. I get it. It is a no, but it's not. It is a yes. Okay. Because those are the people who got to the point where they had a full conversation with you back and forth about a program. They listened to your program and they still said, I want to so bad, but I'm holding myself back because I'm not at that point yet. And that's okay. So that's really a yes. That's why, when you see my highlighted people in yellow, they're the ones who are like, yes, that's a yes. I mean, it's a no, but it's a yes. So it's getting to that point where, like you said, that word vomiting after the fact, I usually will try to be if they say I can't right now, I'm too busy. How about down the road? I try to get a time frame. Okay, no worries. I totally get it. Life is crazy making. Is it okay if I check back with you in a couple months? Putting that out there gives them the opportunity, 1, to say yes, 2, to not respond. And that's an automatic yes in my book. If you didn't tell me no, then I'm going to obviously follow up with you because you didn't say no. And 3, it gives them the opportunity to know that you're coming back. So if you guys saw on my Success Squad page, one of the girls I had signed up this past month, I've been inviting since 2017. She's been saying no to me since 2017. Okay. And then all of a sudden I invited her morning meltdown. She was like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. I was like, why? You always say no. And you're like a CrossFit chick, but CrossFit doesn't work for her anymore. So now she's ready to say yes, whatever it is. So again, not being too invested in the outcome and not, that word vomit afterward where you're like, wait, but you should do it now. Right. That's more of that point where you get to okay, bless and release. If it's something that you think maybe you just didn't explain well, sometimes I'll have people tell me, well, it actually doesn't fit in my budget. And I haven't even told them the price. Then how do you know it doesn't fit in your budget? Boo-boo, if it's not, you don't even know how much it costs. It could be $0, So typically then I'll say, well, I totally get that finances are crazy and life is hard, but actually our programs are on special right now and I'm offering an extra $10 off. So maybe we can talk about options and ways that could fit into your budget. And a girl I have signing up today, that's the conversation back around and was like, oh, actually I can fit that in my budget next week when I get paid. Okay, so sometimes if they give you kind of that weird, they're just freak out, where you feel like it's just a freak out. It's not that they actually processed all of it. I say then try to address it. Otherwise, I say you kind of bless and release knowing you gave me the door to come back. And when I come back, we're probably going to be about 6 or 7 interactions deep. And then this time around, it's probably going to be a yes. But most of the time coaches quit before they ever get to that point where they give people the opportunity to say yes. And the market that we're in, a lot of people get invited to a lot of things and are sold constantly. So we're automatically say no to everything until we decide that it's worth it. So remember that we are, surrounded in a universe where it is very difficult to not feel like you're being sold on some scam. Every person is like, nope, that can't be real. Nope, that can't be real, right? Everything. You have Instagram stores that aren't real Instagram stores. I mean, there's lots of reasons for people to be skeptical. So making it to where there's no reason for them to be skeptical. They know who you are. I'm not sure if that was too long of an answer. Sorry, girls. But I know that's something that we all kind of struggle with when people tell us no or getting to the end of the conversation. Put your questions in the chat if you have other ones, but I do want to address how to turn people into discount coaches because I know that was something that everyone has kind of asked me about specifically. So we go through the invite process. Somebody says yes, they're ready to get a challenge pack. You even talk to them about the price and they say yes. And you're like, okay, I'm going to get my share cart ready. I'm going to send it to their email. They're going to sign up. We're going to have this boot camp. It's going to be amazing, blah, blah, blah. The biggest thing, the barrier I find with getting people signed up with as coaches initially is people feel this pressure to be coaches. Okay. Like I said, I didn't come into this business planning to build a business. I don't think most of you probably came into this thinking, I'm going to make $1 million doing this business. That's my game plan. That's my life plan. No, most people came into this because they wanted to lose weight, build muscle, feel good about themselves, have a community, those kind of things, those other things. So I don't approach coaching as coaching until someone has been at a place where they are showing up as a coach. That's just my own personal, that's just how I function. So the transition from program to discount coach goes like this, guys. Okay. Breezy. We're just going to throw Sam's word up. Be breezy. Okay. Don't make it any bigger than it needs to be. So I let them know before I send them their share cart. They say like, yeah. And I'm like, I got their shake flavors. I got their mom crack flavor. I got the recover flavor. I got all the info to send them a share cart. And I put it all together and I put coach and I send it to them. Okay. And then I let them know, hey girly, by the way, I put in there a preferred customer discount. It's also known as a discount coach. The reason for that is because this is a 100-day boot camp, and I know you're going to want 3 months of your Shakeology. And this is my way of kind of behind the scenes hooking my girls up with a 25% discount. There's no contracts. There's no cancellation fees. Don't feel like you have to coach. There's no minimum requirement, but it's going to save you a bunch of money. And I always want to save my girls money. And most people can't say, I don't want you to save my money. That makes me very uncomfortable. That's one way to do it. The second way is if it's somebody who has like 5 zillion questions, those people who ask you, well, before they've even signed up, so what are we going to do? When do we start? What happens? What are my shake flavors? Like 20 million questions. You're like, can you just get your program already? And then we'll address all these questions in the boot camp. Those people I address before I put it in their program. And I say, hey girly, last question before I get your program over to you. We have this awesome preferred customer / quote, also known as a discount coach program where I get to hook my girls up with 25% off since there's no minimum requirement with coaching. 98% of my girls are signed up as coaches, and it gives them the opportunity to save money on their shakes. And I know you're in this for a lifestyle, so of course I want to save you money. Is it okay if I put that in your program as well? Again, don't upplay when you say like, hey, so I'm going to get you signed up as a discount coach. People are like, excuse me. I don't even know if I like these programs or like this shake or even want to be a part of this. I'm like already jumping off and they turn and run the other direction, at least in my experience. So I shied away from inviting to save people money because I was worried that then they were going to say no to the whole program. So I would say 99.9. And then the follow-up question sometimes, guys, is some people are like, wait, it's asking me to put in my social security number, which we all know as coaches, we make money. So obviously they need your social security number. But for somebody who doesn't want to necessarily at the time build a business, they're like, I don't want to give my social security number. This is what I tell them. as a coach, we do have the ability to make money. And after you make $600 in this business, you do have to pay taxes. So your social security number is on file just to comply with the IRS, because that is required because we are able to make money. But I don't see your account. Nobody sees your account. It's not being used for anything. And that's just how you get the discount. And again, 99.9% of people are down, get signed up as a discount coach, and they want to save money, especially if you're upselling them, guys. One of my favorite things to do is get the all access pass, talk to them about Mom Crack or Unicorn Juice or whatever you call it, and get it added into their program before they check out. They automatically get that 25% discount when they're signed up as a discount coach, and they can see it on the Mom Crack in their initial program. Okay. So when you put it all together in there, you even can put in there, and as you can see on your Mom Crack, you're already saving money. People like to be able to see that discount initially happening. So I don't mention the $16 fee. Yeah, no, I don't mention it at all. At the bottom, when they go to sign up, it says all the reoccurring fees and stuff. If they ask me about it specifically, I'll let them know that that's the only fee that is required to keep the discount. And even with that fee included, they're still saving $20 a month minimum on their Shakeology, let alone if they're getting Energized. I tell them, then you end up saving, it's like $35 with that fee included. And most of the time people are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, good. I'm glad that helped, Erica. So I don't mention it. I don't even I try to, again, breezy. I don't really go into the whole discount coach versus regular coach, building a business opportunity, all that stuff. Because the reality is, guys, on our team pages and our family page, we talk about coaching all the time. We share this. We're all showing up as coaches. So they're going to get very much immersed in that right away. I just have to get them in to the boot camps to understand how much they're going to love it. I just have to get them to get over their own fear, say yes initially, and help build our team, and our team being elite is not going to be built just on business builders, hobby coaches, and discount coaches all have to be involved, all have to be successful together for us to reach our big goals. So don't be scared to invite someone as a discount coach. And again, remove the intense need to call it a coach, because the reality is they are a coach and they'll get signed up as a coach regardless. But, most people understand a discount program. They understand a preferred customer program. But the moment you throw coach on there, they immediately feel like then they have to take action and help other people. And so I usually, like I said, put it in quotes, explain kind of briefly what it is, especially if they ask me about it. But don't be scared to say it with confidence. That is the other piece, is when we word vomit or we get nervous, we talk a lot, and people can sense that we're nervous. That's why they run, not because of all the things we're telling them. All the things we're telling them are accurate, but it makes people feel like, why is she talking so fast? Or, what's happening? So they get nervous because of that. And that's when most people, I found, turn and run. But when you're like, girl, I'm saving you money. I got you. Don't worry. Everybody's doing it because that's obviously the best budget-friendly option, and everyone cares about their budget. I noticed the auto email that sends after you do a share card, they tell them the coach fee is waived. Do we no longer need to send the form? What form?
They only need to do a reimbursement form if they sign up after.
Yes.
So if someone's I do discount coaches a little bit different. And so, but either way, Breezy, I get them in the challenge group, and then honestly, I try once they just like the shakes immediately to be like, hey, you want to get the discount. And if they do it that way, which if I offer them the discount in the beginning and then they turn it down, and then I'm like, hey, this is why we would have done it right away, or we would have done it at the same time. Sorry, I don't know. I'm in this effing group and there's so many messages coming through. Brenna, are you getting all these fucking messages? So sorry. then they have to do the reimbursement form. So that's only if it. And then with the, do you add them to the team page? Brenna does it different than I do. I add everybody, but I don't sign up as many discount coaches. So I might have a different mindset if everybody was becoming a discount coach. But I treat everybody like they're going to be the next elite coach until they don't. You know what I mean? Like, I just send them all of the same stuff. And it's what I put in the group the other day. It's like, hey, getting started right. In the next, I'd like to have more something concrete for training as a different than Brigida's training within, the next little bit, but hashtag not much time of the day. But Brenna puts them in, I think, her family page.
Yeah, so everyone gets invited to my family page or our community page, which I talk about getting signed up as a coach or coaching in that page regularly. But when someone tells me, hey, I'd like to learn more or whatever, then I move them over to the coaching page. The main reason for that is I was having a lot of like weird disengagement in my team page when everyone was getting added in there. And I share a lot more like training specific things. And so for my girls, it just tends to be more like, if you really want to do this, or if you're saying you want to do this, I'll get you added to the team page. But most of my girls, like I said, 99% of people I sign up as discount coaches at this point, because I'm trying to push for 2-star. So regardless, I'm signing them up for coaches outside of the fact that it's going to save them money anyways. But so 99% of people I sign up are discount coaches, but doesn't necessarily mean that they are invested in the business at this point. I still make it a point though to share like recognition in both pages. I share some training calls that would relate in both pages, stuff like that. Anyone else? Any other questions? I know it's like 7:01.
I was just going to say, like, when Brenna goes through, this is working for Brenna, and clearly it's working for Brenna. She's doing really, really well. Things are working for me. Things are working for Rachel. We're going to hear from her on the team call because she made Success Club. You have to keep failing and keep stumbling through these messages and keep stumbling through signing up a coach, and maybe you didn't handle it how you wanted to. Maybe you would have put them in the team page. Maybe you wouldn't have put them in the team page. But honestly, you have to just commit to falling on your face through this until you find what works for you. Until you send a message that right after you send it, you're like, stop being animals. You send it and you're like, I don't really like what I said there. And then you tweak it. But you don't worry too much about the next step when you're not there yet. So, but honestly, in regards to discount coach, it's never going to hurt to put them in. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're going to do anything wrong. They're already signed up. They have information. If they want to use it, they're in the team page. If not, you're following. In the beginning, you have the time to follow up with everyone really individually, right? When you only have a handful of coaches, it's easy to be like, hey, how are you doing? Where I cannot message every one of my coaches every single day. You know what I mean? It's just, so in the beginning, be excited that you have time to figure it out.
Absolutely. And the biggest tip, do things. Take action. Don't overthink it. Don't even think it. Don't even think about things. Just create an invite, 3 sentences or less, 4 sentences or less, and send it. And literally send. So today, because I am not a teacher, but I do like assignments because I did go to school for a very long time. I think most people in this group are consistently sending a minimum of 5 invites a day. Can everyone nod if you agree with that? 5 invites a day? We're all pretty much doing that? Okay. So because we talked about 10Xing and we talked about moving big goals, moving our businesses forward, today I'm going to challenge every single one of you to send 25 invites. I know. Shit's crazy. It's a Saturday. 25 invites. That is your assignment today. And you're going to check in with the Success Squad page when you did 25 invites. Now you're not going to give it thought. You're not going to read to what anyone says. I would even task you to send the 25 and maybe not even respond till tomorrow if you feel like that would be better for your sanity. I just want you to send the invites and not think about it again. Move on with your day. Just like we do 25 minutes for our workouts, We show up, we drink our mom crack, we do whatever we do. I put on my headphones, my Beats, I put on my mood booster, playlist, and I send my, invites for the day. Do your 25 invites, and when you're done, have a dance party in our Success Squad group, and write their names and handles down. Exactly, Sam's right. If you don't have a notebook already, I'm also going to challenge you to get a notebook this weekend, okay? Because there's nothing more difficult than not having a system to track, and it makes it feel very overwhelming. So go to your Facebook friends list, go to your Instagram followers, write down 25 handles, send 25 invites, and close your notebook and walk away and feel freaking phenomenal, because that is phenomenal, okay? Is everybody in? Comment, I'm in. I mean, Julie, you're driving, so maybe don't.
And, like, just to show how the wheel works, you guys, like, you could, it can be true, 15 minutes, set the timer and send 25 invites when you're copying and pasting. Like, you can stay true to this thing. You don't have to, just because you are building bigger goals doesn't mean you necessarily have to spend massive more time. It means that you have to work smarter, not harder. And so when you write your names down on this Instagram handle, I give 2 days, or their Instagram handles on thing, I give 2 days, and then, look, follow up with the people you've invited for 15 minutes. Then I go back 2 pages back. So that's always my rotation. And then I go through. Either you answered me and I'm picking up the conversation, or you didn't answer me and I'm acknowledging that you did not answer me. And because I'm not going to make this weird, you're going to make this weird. I'm saying like, hey, I don't know if you got my message, blah, 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 blah. And then this is the system, right? Like, this is the revolving, this is how the momentum builds. The snowball gets bigger as it rolls down the hill. But if you're only doing random sporadic things all over your tracker, it's not going to build and flow. So Brenna, way to rock this call.
Right. And those are the same people you're going to invite in 3 months, guys. When I say, like, I've been inviting somebody since 2017, I'm just going back, re-inviting those people that I've already invited. So, like, this is not some crazy, like, where does she come up with these numbers? Like, yes, you're adding to your network, but you're still continuing to invite the people you've invited who've said yes to you. They said no, but they said yes. You know what I mean? Like, those people are my favorite. So thank you, ladies, for jumping on an early morning call. I know we're all a little fabulous at 6 a.m., but is everyone down to take a photo? Because I'm sweating out here.
I have a question, Brenna.
Yes.
You said you folded your notebook. So, like, what do you put on either side of the fold?
Names. So it's hot dog style, not hamburger, in case you're wondering. I fold it like this, and it just gives me double the line. So there's 33 on one side, 33 on the other. They're all Instagram handles. I do the Instagram handles, not their names, because most of the time when you go back to search them, you'll kind of lose them if you do their names. And then, guys, after you start to get like a full notebook, like this weekend, I'm taking the names from my notebook and I'm putting them into my Google Streak, which is kind of the next level of organizing, which when you get to that point, we'll do a training on Google Streak organizing. I'm just saying, don't think that like, oh my God. And the great part about a notebook like this, I take this with me in my purse everywhere. I had to go to urgent care the other day. I did 30 invites in the lobby. It was great. You know what I mean? All you need is a pen, this. I bring a highlighter because I like colors. So like Sam circles. I have big handwriting. It doesn't work. So like I highlight things. But whatever works for you. I take my notebook, my highlighter with me legitimately everywhere. You'll be surprised when you're sitting in parent pickup line how many invites you can do. Little things like that. Don't feel like you have to sit down, have this whole setup. No, bring your notebook, bop, 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 bop. And when it's all saved in your phone, it makes it really easy to do it wherever you are. Okay? So was that a yes in the photo? Okay, go, Sam. I mean, so like, it's fine. It's fine, guys. Okay, you tell me when, Sam. Count it. Okay, awesome. She will tag everyone and get your workouts in today. Show up big time on your page. And I heart you all. Thank you for showing up bright and early. If you have other questions, I'll share this recording in the pages and you can totally comment if later on there's like more stuff that comes up or whatever. I hope it was helpful. I love you all. Talk to you later.